Hi everyone, thanks for joining. This is the 4th episode of PoolCast for this season. For today, my guests are Garry McNally from the X's Reprobates. We have Simon Griffiths from the Shaky Degenerates, and we have Chris Cook, who's very kindly stepped in at very late notice from X's Magic. Right guys, once again thanks for joining me. Just going to have a quick look at the singles quarter-final draw. Cookie, what do you think?
Some good matches there. I think the toughest one out of that 4, I'd have to say, is probably Mark and Ravi. That's going to be quite an interesting match, I think, because they're both.
I think they're finely balanced players, aren't they?
Yeah.
To be honest, so I think that'll be a tough one. And Chris Cox as well, whoever he's got, Jamie or Sammy, that's not going to be an easy game for any of those three, really, are they?
I mean, again, as well, you've got the wild card of Kev Allen as well, playing reasonably well to get through at this stage.
He knocked out Sai.
That's what I mean.
Knocked out Sai 4-3, and he was 3-1 down as well.
Yeah, so again,
that's a great result.
You can't really rule him out either.
No, and again, that's Lewis or Bobby, both former champions. And then the other one is me against Andy Lawrence, who Andy Lawrence knocked out Julian. Yeah. So he's no mug, but neither am I. So I'll give him a good game, and I'm sure the best player will win on the day. What do you think, Garry?
In my opinion, I think you should pull through on that one. But like you say, on the day it could always be different.
Yeah, I know Andy can play. You know. So.
I also agree with Cookie that Mark Anderson and Ravi, it's not going to be an easy match either way. They're both playing well. And Mark's doing well on Friday nights in the shots tournaments, won 5 now.
Wow.
Ravi himself, I've seen him play a couple of times, and he's not a pushover, and he can always string it out. And like you said as well, Chris Cox, whoever he faces, no one's going to have an easy match.
Yeah, I think anyone, whoever Jamie or Sammy, I think that'll be a great match, Chris and either of those two.
I think the Kev Allen match would be a good one to watch as well, whoever he faces.
Yeah. Simon, you...
this is only my 4th season, and I've spent 2 seasons in Div 1, the rest have been in Div 2. So honestly, I've never played with anyone on there.
No.
The only person I have played, and that's because one game once, that was with Bobby.
Yeah.
He had a competition over in the Shaky one time. We came over and I had a quick game with him.
Yeah.
And he's brilliant.
You guys...
But he's a really decent
bloke.
So, yeah.
Obviously you played a lot in Div 2. Do you still, like when it comes down to the latter stages, and predominantly it'll be Prem players that are left in the draw, do you still pay an interest?
I'm part on the Facebook page, so I watch it all and stuff, but I'm not gonna lie, I wouldn't go to the match and watch it, because I just don't.
Or you wouldn't say, IOP wins or anything, because you don't.
Well, again,
really know
I can be, so I don't know him, so I could say, I really wish Andy Lawrence wins, but that would be unfair on you, because I never know you.
Right, just going to touch on the team knockout quarter-final results from a few weeks ago. X's Magic 5, X's Magic 5, Crown Jewels Twyford 2, Kia Legends 5, Safari Garden 0. Cherwell beat the Nomads, and Nag's Head beat Launton Misfits quite comfortably as well. Cookie, semi-final lineup looks quite tasty, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's definitely a tasty one. Potentially 3 of the top teams in the Premiership all battling out for the team knockout trophy. It's going to be an interesting semi-final.
And you can't underwrite Cherwell Wanderers as well, because they look like they've got a strong team.
Previously beaten Nightingale Nomads. Yeah. Again, they're not exactly the easiest team to beat. They've got to these sort of later stages in the knockout before. They've only been playing together as a team for what, 2-3 seasons now?
Yeah, it's a couple of years now, because they were dogs. But it's a brand new team, I think, Cherwell. Well, it's not brand new, I think half of the players that have come in are fresh, which has definitely strengthened them. But I don't think they'll be phased really by the top 3, because they're kind of going in there with nothing to lose really, aren't they? But no, I think should be a really good evening, team knockout. Right, and onto the plate. You guys are still in it, aren't you? So Deviants 1, Shaky Degenerates 5, Shaky Cock lost 5-3 to you guys, Ex's Reprobates. Real Beards, they beat Keita B, and Ex's New Boys, they were claimed by the Nightmares. So how do you fancy your chances? Because you've got the Nightmares in there and Real Beards, they're both the league above you. One's absolutely flying in the league. Real Beards are trying to stay afloat in that league as well.
Depends if you get the start. In a first to 5, if you're going on a Monday night, you've got the whole 9 to play. If you're 4-0 up, you've only got to win the one more.
Yeah.
We look at it as a team. As I've said to my team, I don't mean no offence to any of them. I don't personally think we can win the plate, but we will always try our hardest.
Yeah.
It's our first season together. Make it to the semi-finals of anything, we're happy with that. One team we do not want to draw would obviously be the Nightingale Nightmares.
Yeah.
They're a league above us and they're flying through that league at the moment. I get along with Alan and Connor Miller.
Yeah.
They're good friends of mine, and they're two players I wouldn't want to go up against. They're quite steady players, and they've got both sides of their game. They can pot a ball and they can cover a bag. But at the same time, we've played the Degenerates. We won 5-4, we lost 5-4. It's always tight, so maybe that will be a favourable draw.
Yeah.
It's a tight game, but there's a chance of winning. The Brewbeards, I don't really know them myself, so couldn't really comment on whether they'd spank us or the other way around, possibly.
Yeah.
But also,
well, the Keita B who are in your league, they were about mid-table or something. I think. You know, they took them to the decider.
Might be worth
so
it, but
you know, I suppose you got to take, if you're going to look at positives, you got to look at things like that, haven't you? What about you guys, Shaky Degenerate?
In fairness, we're just taking each game as we come along. We've had 2 tough draws, and then this is the furthest we've ever got as a team in a team competition. You know, we beat Come Shots, which was a mixed match of Prem and Div 1 players, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was a brilliant result.
We turned up, and in fairness, I just thought, AJ, when I was watching the last podcast, put in saying we beat them like 5-1 or 5-2. It wasn't. It was close to it. It's 5-4. But we turned up a player down, so we're already 2 points sort of behind.
So you won 5-2 on the night.
4-1 in the singles.
Yeah.
And then lost the doubles, and then it went down to the very last game. So it's a brilliant match. You know, and actually it's just given us a lot of confidence.
Well, good luck to both of you anyway in the team knockout plate. So let's talk about Div 2. It's nice to talk a bit more in depth about Div 2 because we don't normally have many players that know much about what goes on in the division on here. So again, you guys, Shaky Degenerates, you're top, 100 points, Reprobates, you're on 95, only 4 games to go. Game on, isn't it?
I believe so.
It's been close. Like, in fairness, the first 6 games of the season, there was the top sort of 4 teams, and it was just rotating week after week after week.
I think for about 3 weeks though, we ping-ponged, didn't we? We were top, you were top, we were top.
There's been about 5 different leaders, haven't there?
Yeah, the Bell Outlaws were in there for a bit until they took on Sean.
Same with the Crown.
Sean Murray,
let them down.
He can bring any team down, yeah.
Same with Twyford though, they're currently 5th, but at one point they were actually top of the table, and they were, I think they were a couple
that's
of points
crazy.
at the top.
They were like 3 clear or something. Last time we did PoolCast, I swear they were top.
Yeah, they were
and
top
then,
by a couple of points.
They claimed the buy from Shaky Cock.
Since then, they're now 16 points behind the leaders, so that's quite a big plummet, really,
It's
isn't
all
it?
happened since the second half of the season. I think we went into the second half, and we were just above. You know, and literally at that stage, there was only 2 or 3 points in it. And then we were just, again, we had a couple of wins in the team games that just give us a lot of confidence, and we've just been banging it. We've still got 4 games left, we're on 100.
You've only lost 3 out of 14, you know, and I've seen now there's a gap of 9 points now between second and third, which is almost unheard of in Div 2. But, you know, for there to be that size gap at the top.
It's only just happened, hasn't it?
It is literally just within the second half of the season.
Just a few weeks where, you've won
Yeah.
and just a few behind you have lost, and suddenly the gap opens up. Do you think that gap will stay there, or do you think they'll fight back
In my personal opinion, I think
with the games that you've got left?
I think the 3rd and 4th place will swap around. I think the 100 Acres might come below the Bell Outlaws because, in my opinion, they're a stronger side.
Who, the Bell?
Yeah,
Yeah.
the Bell have had a few unlucky losses, but at the same time, they've had a few frames where they should have won it, and it's just down to pressure. They've missed a pressure pot, and it's gone the other way, whereas everyone's done it. And in the 100 Acres, they're now at shots, so they're now playing on better tables because where they're at shots on a better table, so they might do better there.
That's starting to show their results, you think?
So I think that the Bell Outlaws will overtake. I'm hoping we stay second or maybe come first. We have a chance if something falls apart on the Degenerates, but we're hoping when Aaron G goes on holiday, the rest of you fall apart, you know? But
do you think that'll happen?
No, I
don't think so.
For the games that we got left, I mean, I think we're just going to continue playing. We're in a very good position. We're playing really well together. You know, we're playing really strong as well.
At this sort of stage where you said there's only 3 or 4 games left, I mean, all it takes is the top 2 teams to, no disrespect, but start losing games, and the teams that are not that far behind, if they get good results in between,
they can all change.
Then exactly.
I think that's why we're probably both quite happy with the gap, because we don't want to lose, we don't expect to lose. You want to always try your best, but where the levels are at the minute with a decent gap, we feel maybe if we was to get
If you're at
a
a
loss,
weaker night,
you might get a bad night and hope that they didn't have a great night. You might just still be in front of them to maybe push for the promotion.
Yeah.
And as our first season as a team, we'd be happy to get promoted in 2nd place. Obviously, everybody would love to come first and get promoted, but as a first season together to get promotion, even if we don't hold our own next season and get dropped back down, it's still an achievement as a team. Your first season together, get a promotion, get the semi-final.
I think in a way we've all been like that once, haven't we?
Yeah.
We've pushed to try and win the league, or even in the lower divisions.
the thing what you got to look at as well is, even though you go up as second, you still battled out 3rd, 4th, and 5th. That's not it's not a cop out.
Try and be best for the rest,
That's the thing.
and it'll give
And
you
you'll go up.
confidence going into the next season as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Because the 2 teams above you ain't going to be there.
Yeah.
So.
Aaron G.
Godfather of Pool, John Bland.
Sammy Donaldson.
Currently reaching the semi-final in the team play knockout.
Winning the Thursday League with Chris Cook.
Playing in the international team championships in Yarmouth, and captaining the team that took us to the last 16.
Opening in my first season with winning 1 game.
If we don't get promotion this season.
Losing to Garry McNally for the first time.
Kevin Eastwell Knight.
Reece Green.
I think he deserves it, and Schultz.
Slow down, think chalk before every shot.
Slow down because I was playing too fast and rushing silly shots.
Never make the game complicated, take your time, not go for silly shots.
So what's interesting to find out is how people kind of got into the whole pool scene and the Vista Pool League as well. So guys, how did you first When did you first pick up a cue?
I think it's about a year and a half, 2 years ago. I always played football with my mates on a Sunday, and then they said to me one day, why don't you come down to the X's, because we always play pool afterwards. So I come down and a few frames of them, and they said to me that I wasn't too bad a player compared to the rest of the team they played with, so maybe I should think about joining their team. So I spoke to Paul Wright at the time, who was the captain of the X's New Boys, and I said to him that my mates have said about it, and he said that he'd sign me on as a backup, and if needs be, maybe I could play more in the new season. And then that what's got me into pool, and then I ended up joining the Deviants at the stage and played Div 1 for a little while. And then we decided that as a group of friends there was enough of us that maybe would create a new team. So we decided together we'd make a new team at the X's. There was a spare point available, created a team, and that's it, about a year and a half later on now.
There you are. So you only actually picked up a cue a few years ago?
About a year and a half, 2 years ago.
Yeah? Wow.
Yeah.
You enjoying it ever since?
Most times, yes. On the odd occasion you do have your bad night and you get a bit mad at yourself, and I've probably lost a few frames I shouldn't have, but instead of maybe moving on, I do take it to heart sometimes and get a bit annoyed at myself and a bit angry, but new day's a new day.
That's it.
Always
And that'll always come with experience anyway. You know, if you've only been playing a few years, you've come on great in that time. What about you, son?
So I used to play pool when I was a kid. However, when I first started playing pool properly is probably when I was in college, when I was about 15, 16.
Yeah.
I've never grown up around Bicester. I only moved here about 2 years, about a year and a half ago. I used to live in Carlton.
Oh, yeah.
So I used to go over and play in Whitney. They used to have used to go in a snooker club, and there used to be a pool club called Bees Pool Club.
Yeah.
So that's where I started playing, so it's just around the corner from college. My mates used to go there at lunch times and play. I ended up playing in the Bicester League through work. Aaron, we all work on the same, we all work for the same business, so just used to get friendly. I became quite friendly with him. He actually used to play, he plays pool league. I said, yeah, I used to play pool, fancy having a couple of games one night. Went over, had a couple of games, then got invited over Monday night, playing for a bit shaky. Yeah. Just turned up one night and just started playing.
What about you, Cookie?
Well, mine goes back a few years, to be fair. My dad used to take me to play snooker at his barracks when he was in the army.
Where was that at?
I'm just trying to think now. It's Aldershot, I think.
Aldershot?
Yeah.
Oh, mate.
A long time ago.
I lived in Aldershot.
Basically, for years and years, the cue that I was using back then, collected dust, that was the first cue I picked up when I was about 15. Went to my local pub, which was the Star Pub when it was open.
Yeah.
Had a knock around with some of the locals, some of the decent players back then, like Brian Carroll, Bobby used to go in there, Kev Allen, Darren, Roberts. He was one of the top players back then as well. Just got in with them, playing pool, and just basically just got into it since then. Decided to upgrade my cue when I was 16. Started playing more regular competitions in-house and stuff like that, singles, doubles. A couple of locals as well that was playing pool was interested about my abilities in pool. Just basically picked up the cue and said, right, okay, we'll try and make a go at this, just for the crack sort of thing.
Yeah.
And got into it ever since.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Not improved.
No.
So you mentioned then, Cookie, that you upgraded your cue at 16. Probably didn't know much about cues back then, I wouldn't have thought. But just how important is it, guys, to kind of have a cue that you're comfortable with, that's personal, you know, there's the right weight, the tips, how you want it and stuff? Do you find that it really is almost as important as your game?
Well, if I'm honest, I don't think it's as important as your game. I mean, you get benefits and you get used to using the same cue, but if you're a really good player, you know, I think you can pick up a cue and play with it. Yeah, not pub cues, they're horrendous, but yeah, if you know how to play a ball and you know what you're doing, you can play without cues.
What about you, Garry?
I agree and disagree.
Obviously, you've only been playing a few years, but I'm assuming you have your own cue.
I agree with him in the sense that you can have natural players such as yourself that don't practice every day of the week, that you probably could pick up Cookie's cue and play just as well as you do with your own. But yeah, he can't use his own cue. But when you have your own cue, you get used to the reaction, you get used to the sort of things that you can do. You know what side, bottom, top you can put on it.
How much power to put
Whereas
behind it.
if you use somebody else's cue, you might use the exact same amount of power and fall a few inches short.
Yeah.
Or you might go a few inches extra. You never know what's coming. And it's the same with with the weights and things. I've never known any different from weights, but tip is a big thing with me. I can't use too big a tip. Whereas one week I forgot my cue, and I borrowed my friend's, and it was a slightly bigger tip, and I didn't even think. I played the same shot I normally would, and instantly I realised I was about 6 inches short. I managed to just about be able to see my ball, but the 6 inches short was a big difference from what I'd be able to play with my own cue. You're not...
Guys, can we just be a bit...
Sorry, that's unprofessional.
Wow. But yeah, it makes a big difference, and a lot of players probably will see it, they need their own cue, because you're used to what you play with. But then if you were to go...
Stop getting it.
That was you that time, but...
Stop it. I've got to stop.
Yeah.
Sorry, go.
He can't,
Chris,
he
what
can't
about
handle
you?
himself.
Me, I think cue does make a difference to a certain degree. Over the years, I've gone from different types of cues: 2-piece, 3-piece, 1-piece. Currently playing 1-piece at the moment. Started around about 9mm and gradually gotten down. Some people that I know, like yourself, have tried the cue. Yourself have tried the cue. Some people don't get on with smaller tips than slightly bigger tips. Weight as well, I think, has a factor in it as well, because some people like natural weights in the sense of what they feel comfortable with the cue itself.
Yeah. It depends. You can have one that's like bottom heavy, can't you?
Yeah.
You can have one that's just a steady
Evenly
weight
out
throughout.
all around, yeah. I mean, for me personally, I think the weight and the tip size is a factor for myself, purely because, like I said, through the years, you play with a cue, you try and get how you feel comfortable with the cue. If you don't, then you try and adjust. With the cue I'm playing at the moment, it's all about the reaction from the white ball itself, or just making sure that you're in a position on the table where you'd like the white ball, or in a sense, to go. So I think it does play a part of the factor in the sense of your ability.
Yeah. So presentation night has always been singles final. Raffle's been introduced, bit of a disco, not much dancing goes on though, and the presentation for the trophies. Is that fine, or do you think that it should be spiced up a bit? Things changed?
My personal views on that, I mean, it would be nice to possibly, it would be, the only problem would be, it'd be an absolutely long night, would actually be to have finals not just for the singles but possibly doubles maybe. You know, I definitely think the team knockout should stay as it is and 2 separate nights, or thingy, but yeah, I think it'd be nice to have the doubles and the singles final on the same night, in my opinion, just to spice it up a little bit in a sense.
Only issue there would be if it's the same person in both. You wouldn't be able to play them next to each other. That's the only thing. But you think maybe another final of some sort?
Yeah, it'd be nice to see another final.
What about you guys? Have you been to a presentation?
I've only ever been to one. That was 2 seasons ago when we went together. So we came second. That was
Div
going
2,
up from Div 2 to Div 1.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's people's preferences, isn't it? I mean, you can understand you've got to try and cater for everyone, but it's just personal preference. I enjoy playing pool. I love playing pool. I love banter. I love everything you're doing with a BDPL pool. But as much as I love playing pool, I don't enjoy watching it, and I just get a bit bored. Yeah. And that's nothing to do with how people are playing stuff. It's just how it is. That's my personal preference.
So is there anything
as
else
a full
then?
team? I don't know, because it's just hard, because there's no reason stopping us from coming, but again, I think it's one of those issues where you don't really know people, and if you don't know them, it's like you're not going to go down the pub on your own if you don't know anyone. You go down with a group of friends, or you go down to meet people.
Yeah. Gary?
I agree with them both, really.
Yeah.
Except I wouldn't put both doubles on one night. I think it's nice to have 2 separate nights. So if you're a doubles champion like yourself when you was, it was nice to watch you play a doubles game. You don't want to be someone sat in the middle like singles game and doubles game. You don't want to.
Yeah, almost choose what you want to watch. Or,
yeah, it's nice to have the separate nights, but I think the disco was a good addition because like when you had it in here, instead of it just being a pool night, all the people that came in here that aren't involved in pool, they've got something to join in with. It's not like you're taking over the club for a pool night, but at the same time is where some people can watch pool, some people can have a drink, some people can have a dance, some people can buy a raffle ticket. It's a big mix of things. It's not just everyone's coming down here to have a drink and sit around one pool table. Yes, everybody does want to watch the final and wants to know the results and things like that, but you don't want to all try and squeeze into one little area and watch it. You want
that's
different things
we'll
around
try and
the area.
spread it around. Right, Chris, Simon, Gary, thank you very much for joining me and taking part in PoolCast. If anyone else is interested in taking part, please let me know. Struggling all the time, I don't want to keep asking people, so if any of you do want to volunteer to do it, please just let me know. Thank you for joining us, and we will see you next time.